Hey everybody, Chad here. In this episode, we're going to talk about what would Neville Goddard do. Okay, what would Neville Goddard do in your situation? If you're struggling right now, trying to achieve success, trying to achieve your attention, trying to achieve what you want, your dream life, no matter what you're going through, what would Neville Goddard do? That's the topic of today. This is a must watch. And let me sit down this camera. Let's get ready and let's rock and roll, baby. Hey everybody, welcome back. I got the camera set down. I'm dressed all snazzy today. I think I haven't dressed like this in a video for a long time. But right now we're going to talk about what would Neville Goddard do in your situation, in my situation. But before that, I want to tell you a story. And this is a true story, what happened to me today. And that's what made me think about this video, to help myself out and help you out, of course. Okay, now this is how it goes. I had an interview. So last week, I had an interview for an operations manager. So last week I interviewed with the HR manager. Okay. And that interview went really, really good. The interview lasted on the phone, lasted about probably an hour and a half. So an hour and a half interview kind of is going pretty good. So right after the interview, it went so well, right after the interview, like 30 minutes later, I get a text from her saying, well, I want to set up a second interview. You know, the director of the department I would be working in, and I'm applying for an operations manager, okay, and he wants to meet with you. So we set up a time for him to meet this week, actually today. I went to the interview. I interviewed with the director of operations, who I would report to. Then I also interviewed with the director of human resources. So they're both in a room. It's for an operations manager position. So, but what makes this position a little bit unique, I don't have like warehouse experience. Now I have business experience, like, working in the business office and so forth, but not so much in a factory warehouse. So they have a huge warehouse attached to their company. So I would be really inside the warehouse as an operation manager. So when they're interviewing me, the interview went very, very well, of course. But, as far as personality and stuff like that, but when they're asking me questions about certain things that relate to operations, relate to operation management, see, they kind of want to hear, they kind of want to hear how it relates to that job, how it relates to the warehouse setting. So when I'm answering, I'm kind of answering questions, I'm kind of answering at more kind of high end. I'm answering operations because I'm coming from account management, a director level, a VP level, a COO level, where operations to me would mean, I'm managing all the departments. I'm making sure all the departments are working in unison together, are working in teamwork together. There's no HR is better than sales and sales is better than accounting and stuff like that. That basically happens in companies. That's why sometimes companies start to shut down, and you have to do mergers and acquisitions and so forth. So I'm answering the questions related to operations, but I'm answering it very kind of high end. I'm answering it from a different level. Okay. So at the very end of the interview, I kind of felt like a weird energy, because I kind of felt like they were trying to relate how my resume connected to the operation manager of the warehouse, because I don't have any warehouse technical experience. Business is business, management is management, simple as that. But of course, when you go through an interview, through like an employee mindset or employee mentality, that they're trying to relate it to what they need. And I'm kind of answering kind of above and beyond, because that's just where my experience comes from. So I kind of felt this energy from them that they were kind of deciding. It's not that the interview went bad, it went really good, but I couldn't decipher either way. Like if it went really, really well, they're going to move forward with me or move forward with an offer, or if they really felt, well, Chad's a great candidate, but we want somebody with warehouse experience. No matter if he can do it or not, we just want somebody with warehouse experience. So I couldn't really feel it out. I'm driving home. I still kind of have it's kind of an awkward feeling, because you're trying to assess how it went, even though you should just let go of the how, of course. But then it kind of came to me, and I don't know why I thought this way, but I thought, well, what would Neville Goddard do? What would Neville Goddard do in my situation? And that's what I want to share with you today. So no matter what you're going through, no matter maybe you're struggling in your mind, you're struggling, maybe something happened kind of similar in my situation that you don't really know what the answer is. You're struggling with things aren't coming fast enough for you or whatever. This is a great thing you need to do is answer the question how I answered it. Ask yourself, what would Neville Goddard do in my situation? Now, if you know Neville Goddard is kind of he coined law of assumption. He's kind of the father of law of assumption, the father of law of prosperity. So, and that being said, his whole thing with law of attraction is you live in the end. You assume in your imagination, you go in your imagination and you assume what you want already happened. Okay. And one of the things I kind of remembered is in the phrase of what would Neville Goddard do in my situation, he would actually come home, he would sit down in a chair, and he would sit and think, go in his imagination, close his eyes, go in his imagination and see the job, if I really want this job, and see them being excited about me. See them, emailing me, having me come back in, because if I come back in a third time, they're going to come back and offer me something. So see in my imagination this happening. See my imagination of me getting that email, how I feel about receiving that email. Setting a date and time to go back in. Get an offer letter. I'm doing all this in my imagination. I'm looking at the offer letter. I'm negotiating. I'm signing the offer letter. I see myself, going to work my first day. That's what Neville Goddard would do. Okay, he would, whatever he wants, and when your mind starts playing tricks on you, he would just come home. He wouldn't wait till nighttime. He would just come home and grab a chair, have a chair right here, grab a chair and just sit there and go in his imagination and live in the end and imagine exactly how he wants it to play out. That's what Neville Goddard would do. So when you start second guessing yourself, just like I was second guessing myself, I was playing mind games where I was trying to figure out the energy. I was trying to read them. I was trying to figure out, did it go good or not? Think, what would Neville Goddard do? What would he do? And in his teachings, that's exactly what he would do. When he's struggling, or if he wants something, or something came up during the day, when he would go home, he would just grab a chair, go in a room where it's quiet, and just sit. And go in his imagination and live in the end and imagine exactly what he wanted, exactly how he wanted it to happen. That's what Neville Goddard would do. So next time you're struggling, I'm going to wrap this up. Next time you're struggling, think about what would Neville Goddard do and do exactly that, my friends. Because it does work, but you have to think in those terms. You're doing all this studying. You're doing law of attraction, law of assumption, law of manifesting. You're doing all these exercises. The more you do, the better you get. The more you'll catch yourself having negative thoughts, the more you catch yourself trying to control the how, the more you catch yourself not letting go. And don't beat yourself up. It's just a learning process. We all have to go through it. But think, what would Neville Goddard do in your situation? Other than that, my friends, that's it. And I'll see you in the next video. And blessings to you.